All right, we should be live. What's up, ladies and gents? It is the 25th of June. We got ourselves a MLB DFS slate to break down. Big one, 13 games. I don't know what's going on. I don't understand why my Brewers are playing at 3 o'clock on a Friday. Like, that is just something that never happens. It's weird.
Yeah, I get the other one's a doubleheader, but no idea why the Brewers game is not on this slate. Would
Bucks
definitely.
game, Bucks game tonight.
Oh, yeah, maybe that's why for sure.
I bet you they changed it for that.
Because I'd definitely be trying to use Corbin Burns in this spot.
You don't think Colorado's the best team in baseball?
I do not.
Okay, that's fair.
Although Trevor Story's finally hot.
Yes, he's been giving it lately. All right, guys. So we got ourselves a 13 gamer tonight. Let's get into it and wish everybody best of luck this evening. If you can click the thumbs up button, it's always appreciated. Today's show is brought to you by our good friends over at Drafters. You want to try to sign up and play, use the promo code DFS5Pack. Weekly, monthly memberships available through the website. And of course, if you can subscribe to it if you're brand new to the station, that would be great. Let's start talking with some starting pitching today, and let's talk about today's big-time chalk play, which is Carlos Rodon of the Chicago White Sox. 10-7 at home against Seattle. He is going to be huge chalk today. Early day projections have him multiple times owned more than any other pitcher, and while that may not completely break down that way, it tells you that he's going to be monster chalk today. And it makes sense, right? Seattle's a bad offense. They strike out a lot. The other options on the slate aren't great. He's currently one of the front runners, if not the front runner for AL Cy Young. It just makes sense up and down.
Yeah, I mean, the other part of the equation that you didn't even mention that I know we agree on is there aren't really other pitchers that we like today. There's some other options that we're fine pairing with Rodon, but if you don't use Rodon, you got to use two of the other guys. I mean, he's the best pitcher on the slate in probably the best matchup. So, it's baseball. He'll probably give up, 5 runs in the first. We know how that goes, but on paper, he's far and away the top option in all formats.
Yeah, and I know you're a contrarian player, but you never mind playing a chalk starting pitcher because there's so many other spots to be different. Go with a different offense, take the bottom of the order of a good offense, whatever it might be. There's just other ways to be different. If you got a pretty safe play, quote unquote safe on paper, it's definitely okay just to ride the chalk anywhere.
Couldn't agree more.
All right, next up, speaking of chalk, we like the Dodgers today. We like the idea of them venting some frustration they have after last night, after being swept by the Padres and all the things that go along with them. The problem is they are huge, huge dollars, except for the belly man right here, Cody Bellinger, only 4,300. Came off the IL a couple of days ago. Hasn't given you any kind of monster performance since then, but he's walked twice in each of the first 2 days, which means he's seen the ball well. He's very affordable at only 4,300. Stolen base and home run upside. Not having a great year. Multiple stints on the IL. Hasn't been overly productive when out there. But we know this guy is a perennial MVP candidate. He can get going on any given day. Solid matchup with Arrieta, who you can run on and hit for power off of. He will be the one Dodger who's kind of popular. So he's the best Dodger in cash games.
He makes a ton of yesterday, and like you mentioned, another 2 walks. Seeing the ball really well. Consider all these other Dodgers are 5,500 or above. Like, it makes no sense that he's 4,300.
Next up, Giancarlo Stanton. So this is one of your guys for GPPs today, but quite frankly, I think you can play him anywhere.
Yeah.
He had the 3 singles yesterday. Whenever I see a guy like Stanton with 3 singles, I feel pretty good about his odds for a home run the next day. And it doesn't hurt that he's a masher of lefties and goes up against Perez, who he's already got 2 career home runs off of and only 7 at-bats.
Gotta love the Yankees on the road in a ballpark basically just as good for hitting as Yankee Stadium, so they get the extra at-bat. Martin Perez is better than the masses want to give him credit for. Coming off a decent start last time out, had been really bad the 2 starts before that. This is more about the Yankees for me. They look good right now. They really tore up Brad Keller yesterday. They've shown a bunch of signs of life. I'm really feeling them today. They've got huge power against lefties. And Stanton could easily be 6K in this spot at 5,300. I like him a lot in all formats.
He's a good call for a home run today. Like, if I had to bet on any player in baseball to go yard today, like, he'd be at, like, right at the top of my list, along with maybe, like, a Vlad or something like that.
Yeah, maybe like a Vlad. Aaron Judge, I think, would be right up there for me, too.
Yeah. All right, next up. So I wanted to talk about the Blue Jays because they're going to be one of the teams that's going to be relatively popular again today. And I wasn't sure which guy to pick out. And then I looked at their very, very cheap catcher, Reese McGuire, who is only 2,400. And actually, over the last 4 days, about as hot as any hitter in baseball, going for 10 for 14 with several extra base hits. I want some Jays exposure against Matt Harvey for two reasons. One, they're the Toronto Blue Jays and they mash. And two, he's Matt Harvey and he gets smashed. So 10 of 14 recently, only 2,400. I like this as a cheap way to get some Jays exposure.
Yeah, I'm with it, man. Catcher is always pretty weak. There's obviously another catcher I like a lot if you're willing to spend up. But if not him, he plays for the Yankees, then I think spending down makes sense. And McGuire, again, really desirable Blue Jays stack. It's good at only 2,400.
Yeah, I got to like the price tag. Not a lot of guys below 2,500 in stacks that you want to play.
For sure.
All right, last up, Manny Machado, late night hammers, San Diego Padres. Corbin Martin so far this year has an ERA over 8. The Padres are good at baseball. Going to be another under-owned stack tonight.
Yeah, late night hammer. And even if you don't want a full stack, that Machado, again, seeing the ball really well, a bunch of upside games recently. We know how good he is when he's seeing the ball well. And again, San Diego is in a good spot against Corbin Martin, who's not good. And they're not going to get much love because they're in a late game. They're not the greatest ballpark. We've seen time and time again this San Diego lineup go off because they have a ton of power and they run. So Machado, again, 12 bombs, seeing the ball well right now. I like him quite a bit here.
Runs a little. He throws in a few stolen bases from time to time. That's another thing about the Padres, as you kind of mentioned. Like, they run. A lot of other mashing teams don't run.
Yeah, I don't know how many. I would say Machado has 5 steals this year.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say somewhere between 3 and 6, so 5's right in there.
And if he played for basically any other team, he'd have 0.
Yeah, he's not super quick. He won't be described as fleet of foot.
They do a lot of double steals. He's not slow either, though.
No.
You see him leg out a double. He's not like one of these Pujols type of guys. He's not the fastest guy, but he's a good athlete.
He's somewhere between Pujols and his teammate Tatis. He's not on the high end of the spectrum where he runs, but he's definitely not Pujols or Molina or Cabrera. I still would do anything if Major League Baseball during the All-Star game would set up a Yadier Molina, Pujols, Miguel Cabrera 100-yard dash.
I could see Machado turning into one of those guys, but he's not there yet.
That's I could definitely see him 10 years down the road playing the back half of his $9 billion contract and legitimately out there putting up Pujols and Cabrera stats.
For sure.
He's going to be that guy.
Yeah, I think so too.
All right, rank them though. Pujols, Cabrera, and Molina run a 100-yard dash. First through third, how's it go?
Man,
or do they all die?
I'm going to say
actually finish.
I'm going to say Molina. The other, all of them are so slow. It almost seems like Pujols and Cabrera don't even try when you watch them. If Cabrera's on first and someone hits a double, there's no chance he's scoring.
His odds of scoring are the same whether it's a ground rule double and he legally can't score or if it's just an actual double. They're both 0.
Seriously, I mean, a lot of times you'll see the guy get to second before he's at third, which is just crazy.
Yeah. But, hey, he's still getting paid $25 million a year or whatever it is to be a below-average baseball player because of what he did 10 years ago.
He can still hit, too, so I'll give him credit there.
All right, guys. Good luck tonight, and we will see you tomorrow.
Thanks.